how's it going? Today is 24th of January, Wednesday, and we are taking a look at the market. It's just something that I have started today's videos with. That would be perhaps a contract available, right, for media agency, so to say, or perhaps establishing similar opportunities, right? That would be sort of thing where perhaps many people would consider beginning, or perhaps it depends, right? Well, that's just an example. Let's stick to an example, right? So we have a contract. Let's progress into perhaps establishing or considering some opportunities where to operate in. So perhaps facilities, right? In previous video, I was taking a look at libraries, and I have reached out to Central Library within Bristol. Usually, there's no response. I have reached out to them previously, about a year ago, I would say, or perhaps less than that number of times. There would be no response. So people are busy doing something, right. Everyone's, in particular in the library, everyone's very busy doing something. Let's progress. So that's where the things might be. Everyone's busy, right? Let's progress into community centers. So I have seen within UK there's something that's called a level up center. Not in the Bristol region, right? But I was taking a look at level up development committee, so to say, and they have allocated. And I was taking a look at some press release, I think, but I don't know all the details, right? So it was over 20 million, and within or from those 20 million, they have supported two projects. Two projects were community centers. So I would say it's perhaps partly, not entirely, taxpayers' money, right? So let's take a look at some of those community centers of having access to those. I have perhaps never realized how many of community centers are available up there. So that would be another way of having access to those facilities. Where perhaps libraries might have very strict standards of noise, right? And we are taking a look at contract for that would be for social media, right? Organization, or so perhaps noise that might be an issue with the libraries, right? Let's progress into community centers, and let's send out some emails, I guess, to community centers. Previously, I was taking a look at just one example, right? There was one community center that was sent it to me email, so I have reached out to this community center. Most likely, there would be no response. I wish things would be differently, where people would check the emails perhaps twice a day. First time, beginning of the working day, that would be if it's 8, from 8 to 9 for 1 hour, people will check emails, and then second time in the day, right? That would be perhaps after a lunch break, and that would be for another hour to check in emails, right? Twice a day for 2 hours checking emails. That would be great to have this kind of structure for some other people, right? If not, perhaps myself, I would find a station where I would send an emails. No one would respond to any of those that's things are as of now. Perhaps other organizations not necessarily would have any structure when it comes to checking emails, right? That's an example of how to have a structure, right? From there, we can progress into taking a look at some of the community centers within Bristol. If I had to guess, I would say 50 community centers, perhaps even more than that. I can share a screenshot, quick one, right? So that would be just an example of the layout and how many community centers are available. So that would be about 50 emails I would myself would need to send out to the charter community centers and understand what and how we can work together. We potentially we can say that we're gonna be a band, right? Music band, might as well. What I'm saying, there might be a lot of noise, right? So not necessarily. The one community center was saying it's not necessarily what they are looking for. We can progress until they would say music band. Okay, rock music. What are we talking about, right? So once we have that, perhaps we have a center. Sometimes I can refer back to one of the programs, or as of now, I think vacancy rate within some of those community centers is the massive. But I guess I don't know all the numbers, but according to everything that's happening in the world, right, the vacancy rate can be up to 70% compared to perhaps where things were. even within some of the people working from their home. So I think the just buildings are just there, right? If anything, if I were to have access to any of those buildings, I would need to reach out to you and ask for perhaps if they can give me a table, and the business would be able to give them a table for professionals to work at a chair table, very common sense, right? From there, conference room, great, bonus. So that would be myself coming into this, right? If you'd ask me, even museum would work, right? So there might be a building there might be the nice paintings on the wall, nice working environment. If you would ask me, we can work there. It doesn't really matter. We can lock the door and people can do a podcast in the museum, and we can build up a very nice podcasting environment there. Myself in the beginning, when starting out, I'm just looking for a building, right? So once I have it, and once I secure perhaps a location, from there I can progress and taking a look at museums and perhaps reaching out to those if they're interested. We can bring more attention to something that's happening within Bristol, right? So it's there might be some that I have visited. I don't know, perhaps people would get angry, right? But there's a lot of museums. We can bring more attention to those. Even that would be, I think, great experience for everyone involved, and we might be able to sell more tickets. Even that would be great, right? That's just an example, right? Later, quick note: if you were to able to secure yourself as an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, right? If you were to able to secure a contract with one of the museums within Bristol City, or perhaps five of those, that's a contract that you myself have been able to secure. Then negotiating the terms, you can negotiate for parking spaces, charging stations, right? You can ask for perhaps half of the people and what your interest you might be able to generate to that museum. You can ask for half of the profit, perhaps even within 2 days or so. If that would be so, charging stations, parking, ticket sales, popcorn sales, drink sales. You can ask for half of all of that. Here you go. So then you would reconsider being from non-profit for profit company. That's just an example of how to do it. For fun, let's do it. Let's do it and see if those museums would consider this kind of offer, right? I don't know how many museums are within Bristol. I have managed to visit quite a few of those. It's just sometimes they might have exhibitions, right? So not necessarily all the time. But let's see. There might be five or so. Let's put together one offer and send to perhaps all five and see if we can manage to negotiate terms of receiving half of everything that by increasing foot traffic, footfall. If we can increase that, can we negotiate a half of all of that? Great. It would benefit all the parties involved. Let's put together a contract for fun and reach out to the museums. Okay, so I have put together what software did. So again, if there's anyone to blame, let's blame software, right? I have put together an offer, and that would be how to potentially structure an offer, right? But that would be very basics, and I have left some mistakes within this offer. If anything, you need to reconsider some of the points, right? Before making similar offers, can you execute on this kind of contract? But that would be perhaps, if anything, to be honest, I'm just interested in location. That's the only thing that I'm interested in. But if anything, if I can, on top of having access to location, have access to some of the profit, great. I just need location. It's just kind of fun exercise, right? So it would be fun for perhaps people watching it, right? And the offer itself would begin with the introduction, progress into proposal review. We are organizing a high impact event in your location, potentially designed to attract diverse audience and create a buzz in the community. This event will feature there potentially be a person, spokesperson, perhaps, or it could or it can be structured as an interview, so to say. So people can purchase tickets and attend the event. There perhaps will be questions. People can ask questions of this person. Can be someone from community, perhaps. On top of that, you can go over the top and bring a band. You can. I'm saying that's just an example, right? Live performance activities, etc., ensuring the vibrant and engaging experience for attendees, right? That was just an example of how to do it. I'm trying not to get anyone in trouble, right? Your benefits, increasing foot traffic, or as well as potentially later on hosting this entire event online, right? So this proposal can you look like that, then you can potentially generate more attention to that particular physical location, right? And from the proposal, I have left out some of the information, so you need to reconsider most of the things. I have touched on quite a few of those, right? Ticket sales, charging points, parking fees, cashier services, and I have put popcorn, right? So that would be just an example, right, of how much sales you can generate within the event. And I would highly recommend considering half of all of that, right? And from there, we progress into event logistics, that to the daytime venue, marketing support, and the next steps, right? And we're having a establishing conference call, progression from that. That would be perhaps more information for everyone. So if we, myself, I'm interested in perhaps not necessarily libraries. That would be perhaps museums where there's a lot of paintings. But again, there might be some reasons why not to do it. There might be a lot of reasons why to do it. That's just an example of how perhaps for people who are interested, right? Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published a book that really livestock enterprise and where potentially you can begin. And we are taking a look in the book financial metrics that from 0 to 10,000, and where else would you start if not taking a look at some of the financial metrics, right? Everyone would start from 0, and how you can potentially have those if it's not something that you have ever considered previously. That would be how you can potentially structure some of the financial goals and operating your business, and financial metrics that are very important. And within the book and itself, it's more of the sustainable practice for many people. I would say it should be important, and I'm looking to share this work with others. But very similar principles can be adapted to different businesses and how those businesses can be structured. You can find it QR code in the corner, company's website below. Overall, that's just an example. I would not necessarily that many people would be able to deliver that. So when it comes to building relationships with some of the businesses, perhaps if anything, I would like to bring more people's attention to that. That if you were to do something or organize something, you need to consider all options and what would be required, how much it will cost for you to put all things together, as well as other people involved. You need to consider all options and how you can potentially progress from there. So there are a lot of things, right? That's just an example. It's kind of fun exercise. It's the only thing whether that is, right? Nothing else, just fun exercise. Or perhaps get some people thinking about business, or being perhaps or generating something from doing, perhaps if it's something that you yourself you might enjoy, right? And I have left within this example a lot of holes, right? So on purpose for people to consider how to do it, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.